My name is Adam Andrzejewski, and I'm the CEO and founder of OpenTheBooks.com. And you know our mission is to post every dime online in real time. And we've got a great story, mission-driven, for the waste of the week this week that we're going to talk about next. So, last year we filed 50,000 Freedom of Information Act requests, and we captured virtually every dime taxed and spent at every level of government, federal, state, and local across the entire country. There was a lone holdout, a big hole in our data, and it was the state government of California, where over the course of the last decade, like a dogfight, knockdown, drag out, 10-year fight to open the books in the state of California. And before I tell you the story, I want to introduce my co-host. Her name is Tamara Colbert. Hey, Tamara, you there?
It's just taking a little bit longer, but yes, I'm here thanks to technology actually working. So, Adam, we had a massive transparency breakthrough this week. Let's share with viewers what happened with the state of California.
Well, Tamara, it's an historic achievement. For the first time, we can announce that the books on state spending in California, the books are open. So we've got 64,000 state vendors who received $76 billion last year. That was fiscal year 2021. And all of it is available for search at openthebooks.com. Just go to our homepage, scroll down to the checkbook section. Right away on the homepage, you'll see California. Click on it, and then you can see exactly where your tax dollars were spent last year. And we do this, Tamara, as you know, so citizens can follow the money. So citizens can hold the political class accountable for tax and spend decisions. Because in the state of California, the politicians have forgotten. They work for us. But
Absolutely.
now you can remind them that, we're going to hold them accountable for the decisions that they make, spending our money. Because remember, it's our money.
Absolutely. So how did we accomplish this? It was years in the making, Adam, to get to this point. Give us that timeline synopsis.
So we first filed our request in 2012 with then California Comptroller John Chang. I think it was the comptroller back then. And then the second comptroller, 2 terms, Betty Yee, they both said the same thing. They both said their words that they couldn't locate any of the transactions that they paid in the previous year. They couldn't locate. It wasn't, when they rejected our request, they didn't cite any specific California law. Finally, after they tested our will and our wallet in January of 2020, right ahead of the pandemic, we sued them in California's Superior Court. And it looked like we had a good, thoughtful, and diligent judge, Stephen M. Gressiver. And then 2.5 months after the closing argument, he came in with his ruling. And we got nothing. Zero, zip, not one of the 50 million bills that the comptroller paid last year. He bought hook, line, and sinker the comptroller's argument that it was an undue burden on her office to provide even a single transaction because the state checkbook he bought the argument was of limited public value. But Tamara, you and I know it is the most important record in the entire state, where they spent your money.
Absolutely. So, Adam, we Open the Books went about this in a highly creative way. What did we do? How many entities did we reach out to?
So we actually shifted right away to Plan B. The books were always going to be open. We were going to force them open. And so we had to go to Plan B, and that was to file on every single state agency a sunshine request underneath the California Public Records Act. So we filed 442 sunshine requests on every single state agency. Most complied. And today, we estimate we have 98% of state spending online and available for search.
So how many refused? And what's interesting is the category of those that refused to answer our sunshine requests.
Yeah, it's all higher education. Specifically, there was 27 colleges and universities that won't even acknowledge our request. The rest of the state agencies, 415 of them, they were very good about it. They provided the responsive record. That's what leads us to this historic achievement today. These
So-
27 entities that didn't comply, 25 of them were junior colleges. Now, Tamara, keep in mind, over the summer, when we were requesting their checkbook, we were also breaking the national news story that the California junior college system admits that they have 65,000 fake students enrolled in classes. Okay, so, maybe we're being gaslit a little bit here by the California junior college system, because
Right.
25 of these schools won't even acknowledge 4 or 5 of our requests. And then you have a couple of major universities. You've got the University of California at Irvine, and you've got Polytech State University. They won't acknowledge it. And then at the board level, you've got the Board of Regents in the state of California. They won't respond either.
This is really remarkable. And I'm sure we're going to be working more on soliciting those checkbooks from them in the future. But share with us some of the most interesting tidbits, like who's buying clout in the state of California.
So we just started an initial search of the data, and here's what we found. Number one, we found that some of the largest corporations in the state of California, those corporations that have de facto marketplace monopolies on large industries, think energy, utilities, healthcare, telco, they are also recycling some of their state profits as a state vendor into the governor's wife's public charity. They're some of her largest donors. And that on its face is a conflict of interest. Here's the second thing we found. Who knew California taxpayers were funding the wealthiest foundation in the world? That's the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Last year, they took over $400,000 of taxpayer money out of the California state checkbook. There's also advocacy organizations like the Tides Center, which is a public educational charity, and their affiliated Tides advocacy arm. They advocate defunding the police. On their website, they support organizations who they say are combating, quote unquote, state terror. That's what they think of local law enforcement in California, quote unquote, state terror. $4 million flowed into the two Tides organizations last year. And here's the third thing that we found. We found that a lot of the most prominent law firms in the state of California are receiving millions of dollars. So we took a look at our state payroll data, because we house that at openthebooks.com. We found that the Attorney General in the state of California employs 1,100 lawyers and 3,700 additional employees in the California Department of Justice. Yet millions of dollars on third-party billings are flowing from state agencies to outside law firms. Okay, so the checkbook is always a starting point. When you see where your tax dollars are going, you will have questions. And we need to get answers from the political class to these questions.
Absolutely. As we end the show here today, I need to quote one, and he is a reporter from the Epoch Times, Mark Tapscott, and he said, "Somewhere in heaven, Senator Tom Coburn, the driving force behind the creation of usaspending.gov, the website that first put federal spending on the web, is standing and cheering because California becomes the 50th and final state in the Open the Books checkbook sphere." Correct? What does this mean for transparency going forward? And remind our viewers where they can find the California checkbook.
So with the completion of the California checkbook, and make no mistake, until those junior colleges come on board, we're not stopping. We're going to fight. We're going to fight to open those books, even if we have to sue those junior colleges. Their spending's going online just like everybody else. Taxpayers in California deserve it, and we're committed to that. But this is an historic achievement today. And former U.S. Senator Dr. Tom Coburn, who passed a little over 2 years ago, he was the honorary chairman of openthebooks.com. We fought a lot of battles, locked arm in arm. And so when Mark Tapscott wrote that today at Instapundit, it really touched, it steeled our spine, it warmed our heart, and we're ready for the difficult road ahead.
Absolutely. Everybody go to openthebooks.com, especially you California viewers. Please go there and see what your city and what all these vendors who might be in your city are up to and how the government in California is spending your money. Openthebooks.com.
Tamara, think about this. We did what the comptroller in California wouldn't do, what the governor, what the attorney general wouldn't do. We did what the state bureaucrats in the end couldn't do. They spent $1.1 billion on a new accounting platform that was supposed to provide transparency and never did. We did what the California Sacramento Superior Court judge wouldn't do. We opened the books in California. It took us 4 months, little less than 500 sunshine requests, and a dedicated team of auditors, and we did it. It's a big victory, and many people on this call today, they helped fund this, and so thank you. Thank you. The books are open in California.
We'll see you next week.